What's up, everyone? We are live at 5atbroadway.com. It is Wednesday, May 2nd. My name is Paul Wontorek.
And my name is Beth Stevens.
And her name is Caitlin Gallup, social media maven.
Hey, everyone.
And his name, you can't see him yet.
Our guest.
Our guest.
We have a fancy guest. We have Reeve Carney is
Reeve
here
Carney.
today.
Always in a good hat, always in a good outfit.
Always.
It's all good.
He always looks great.
Yeah, it's always good to see him. He's going to be at the Green Room 42. We'll talk to him about that
cool.
tomorrow night. But first, let's do today's top 5.
All right. So yesterday we found out who the Tony nominees are, but today we got to meet them. So
We've already met them.
we met them.
Right. So
We didn't meet anyone new.
Thank you, Caitlin. We
You're
have
welcome.
met the Tony nominees.
Actually met them.
We have said hello. We've
can-
introduced ourselves. How do you do? So what happened today, right, Paul, is
We got up really early again.
we got up early. We went to the Meet the Tony nominees press junket.
We call it the Tony brunch.
We call it
but
the
they
Tony
never
brunch.
serve us pancakes.
No
They don't really
French
feed us
toast.
that much. And you and I talked to a whole
You
lot.
talked to most of
I
them.
talked to them. And you
I wrangled.
Yeah.
We were standing for 5 hours, and
I was
thought-
seated, but
You
yes.
were seated, but I thought I was fine. And then I got
then we
back to the
crashed
office
into
and
a
I
wall.
crashed hard, and I've been really tired, and my feet hurt.
Yes.
So I had my shoes off.
let's not talk about our feet. Let's talk about the nominees we talked to.
Who was there?
So many fancy people that we got to ask. You know, if you've ever seen how we do this, we ask them silly questions, and we got to talk to Glenda Jackson, Tina Fey, all the Mean Girls, just so many cool people.
Yeah.
Lindsay
and
Mendez.
Emilio Madrid-Kuzer took a lot of photos.
Emilio took awesome pictures, which you can see on Broadway.com and on our social media network
Yeah.
places,
All those
platforms.
places,
I'm
so many
tired, you
places.
guys.
So we've met them. We've met
So
them again.
we have
we
formally-
re-met everybody. Now that we met them as Tony nominees.
Correct. That's
Casey
that's
Nicola had 10 nominations now.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
it's
how
a
many
lot.
wins? A lot.
It's a lot. A lot.
A lot. That's where we are.
All right. We found out early this morning that Angels in America is extending.
Okay, you guys, this is a good thing.
That's good.
Because Angels in America, the most nominated play in Tony history,
Correct.
with 11 nominations. Although I just walked by a poster for, what was it?
Harry Potter.
For Harry Potter, and it said the most nominated play. But Beth
This
said
is
maybe
for
they're
Tony.
combining every award.
Correct.
But Angels in America does have that record. And they're extended an extra 2 weeks. So it was supposed to end July 1st. It's going to go through July 15th. So get your tickets for that extension. And I can pretty much guarantee you're going to see some Tony winners.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good guess. It's a good guess. We also got news that Jake Gyllenhaal is involved in a new theater-related film.
Okay. Well, first of all, Jake Gyllenhaal is theater-related himself, having been in Sunday in the Park with George, among other things.
Among other things.
Yeah, among other things.
One other thing.
Okay, among one other thing. This is, we
Other
are
thing.
tired, among other thing. There's a new bio movie of Leonard Bernstein called The American, based, I'm just going to read this because it's been a long day, based on the Humphrey Burton biography of Leonard Bernstein, and it will be directed, this is exciting, directed by Emmy winner Cary Fukunaga, who did True Detective. Everyone loves that.
Good season, season 1.
Season 1. We don't have a timeline.
You know.
If you don't know who Leonard Bernstein is, I'm just telling you, you're on Broadway.com. You should know who Leonard Bernstein
He
is.
wrote West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Don't hide it. Don't
It's
bury
very
it.
important.
And Candide.
And On the Town.
And On the Town. That's not a song from On the Town.
No, it's not. Anyway, check that out. We don't know anything about it except that
There
it's
is
happening.
a song called On the Town they added for the movie. We're going on the town. I think it goes
I
like
love
that.
when you sing to us.
Reeve's going to sing it later.
Yes. We weren't the only ones that got up really early this morning because the cast of Once on This Island performed on the Today Show.
You
and
know,
it was really
it's
good.
crazy what these casts
ask a
go
lot of
through.
these
First of all,
nominees.
they got nominated yesterday.
Right.
And then today they have to get up super early and do all this press before their matinee.
That's right.
Not only that, Haley Kilgore, who's super young, she's like this year's youngest nominee, so I guess she has a lot of energy.
I hope so.
She had to get up early with Alex Newell and perform on the Today Show. They sang "Mama Will Provide" and "Waiting for Life," which is a mashup of those songs, which is I assume what they're going to also sing on the Tonys. But,
I hope so.
We're lucky.
So Alex Newell, y'all, won your choice. We talked about this yesterday. You're
Yes.
the number one. You said that he was the person who was most deserving of a Tony nomination, did not get one. And watch this performance, and you will probably agree if you don't already agree.
Yep. It was really good. And I hope that Haley is still standing because it's been a long day. All right. And last but not least, The Humans, the Tony winning cast of The Humans, is going to be reunited in LA.
Okay. I've been talking so much about all the shows I love this season, but you remember that I love The Humans. Do you
Yeah,
remember
the
that?
ending. Do you
Did I
remember
talk
that
about it?
ending?
I do. I
Yeah,
remember the ending.
yeah.
So the stars of the Humans, including their Tony winner, I can't talk. Tony winners, which were Jane Howdyshell, still are, and Reeve Carney.
Stay a Tony winner
They get to keep the Tony.
You keep it.
They are going to reunite with Sarah Steele, Casey Beck, and Lauren Klein in LA. So this is the last stop on the national tour. So check them out. They're at the Center Theater Group's Amundsen Theater for a run from June 19th through July 29th. Very much worth checking out.
Thank you for sharing that, Beth.
You're welcome.
That's definitely a good go-to show.
I feel like you're saying that in a very finalizing way.
It's time to go, Beth.
It's been fun.
Reeve Carney's here.
Oh, yeah.
In suspenders. So,
As he does.
Caitlin, why don't you tell us a little bit more about today's guest?
I would love nothing more. All right. Reeve Carney is best known for his portrayal as Dorian Gray in Showtime's Penny Dreadful, Riff Raff and Fox's Rocky Horror Picture Show reimagining, as well as originating the role of Peter Parker in Broadway's Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. He is thrilled to be returning to his hometown of New York City to make his Green Room 42 debut tomorrow, which he's here to talk about today, and it will feature selections from his 5-time Independent Music Award-winning album, Youth is Wasted, as well as a few surprises from Broadway, as well as the American Songbook. But you can learn more about this right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Paul and Reeve and send in your questions.
Hi, Reeve Carney.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm very well.
Good to see you.
You
Like
too.
the hat.
Thank you.
Like the suspenders, like the bandana, like the chain. There's always good fashion.
I hope it don't look too sweaty. I was walking around all day and it's like 90 degrees outside.
It is
so-
beautiful out.
It is.
And I bet you are a guy that just loves this. Like, did you
I
feel like,
don't-
did you blossom this week when this suddenly it happened like overnight?
I love sunlight. Well, I just got here late last night, but
Okay.
I don't.
From where?
From Los Angeles.
Are you mostly in Los Angeles?
These days?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But the heat is not something I particularly love, especially when coupled with humidity. But,
Yes.
But no, but I like the sun. So.
Yeah, the sun's nice.
Yeah.
Sun's nice. You know what else is nice? That Green Room 42. I like that place.
Me too.
Have you been there
I've
yet?
seen Eva Noblezada there, so
Oh,
that's
okay,
my
yeah, yeah.
only time so far.
Fantastic
but it's
show.
beautiful. And I like I mean, I love 54 Below as well. But
Yeah.
Green Room 42 has this sort of, just a more. It was just interesting to see the crowd. I love that they run things the way that they do there, and the diversity there is really nice. So I appreciated that, and I'm excited to play. So.
Yeah, it's a cool room.
Yeah.
It's also very comfortable. There's good leg room when you're in the audience.
Yeah,
You're not,
nice
cramped
like
up.
booths with the curved booths and leather and all that. It's nice.
Yeah, it's so good. And so is the name of your show actually Reeve Carney at Green Room 42? Is that
I
the
guess.
name?
I mean, I don't have a better name for
Did
it
you not
yet.
name it? Okay.
Should I name it? Is this
Maybe
what
we
we're supposed
should-
to do in
maybe we should come
cabaret?
up with a name by the end
If you
of-
come
I
up
don't-
with one, I'll use it. I just have.
Reeve
no-
Carney,
and
turn
the-
off the cover charge. Or I don't know. Sorry.
That's good. I like that.
Turn off the minimum. Isn't that what it is? It's like there's no
Yeah,
minimum.
that's the thing that I think is helpful for especially a younger crowd. Like you've got things like Today Ticks these days.
Yep.
My friends are part of that, and my buddy Tony Marin, who I think you probably know, but
I just saw him today.
you did. Okay, yeah. And so I think it's just nice to anything that can bring more people into theater and can any sort of theatrical experience. And this is not really theater. It's my first time doing any sort of official cabaret, although I do like telling stories. So for me, it's somewhat natural. But yeah, I'm gonna try to cabaret it up a little bit more than normal.
So yeah, what's the vibe you're going for?
I don't know.
You've been doing live shows. Like there's like a live album of you when you were like 11, right?
Yeah.
Like you sing. This is your thing. You're a rock and roll guy who ended up on Broadway.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Flying.
And if you thought I looked 11 in that, I'll take that as a high compliment. But I was a lot younger. That's
well,
for
you
sure.
look like 20 now. So.
Thanks. Hey, I gave him a little bit of money on the side, but no. So what? Yes,
What is
I
a
did
Reeve
start
Carney
as a
concert
rock and
like,
roll
and
musician.
what are you trying to convey
Well,
for Green Room 42?
I've played in bands my whole life, and I've been doing a lot of solo performances. And lately, I've been actually playing some percussion while playing guitar and singing, which is pretty fun. And I do a few different, play different instruments simultaneously at times, and so it's a bit of that. And I think that adds to the ability to make it a storytelling experience because it's just me on stage. So that's the goal, I guess. Yes, it's a solo Reeve Carney show with a cabaret edge. I hope that's what I'm going for.
Cabaret Edge, I hope.
Well,
is there
I've never.
banter? Is
There's
there
I'm
scripted
always
banter?
there's no script. See,
Okay.
I don't like having a script. I love having a script with if you're in a musical or a play or a television show or a film or whatever. But in terms of my music, it feels false. I can't plan anything ahead. I have
Right.
to just
Yeah.
maybe an outline, but that's
Okay.
that's
All
if I
right. But
hit
you
it.
could just suddenly start telling a story and just
Oh
riffing
yeah,
and just
I don't
go
have
off.
any idea of what stories I'll tell tomorrow, but
I'm into that. Just get up there and see what happens.
I love that. I think this day and age with social media too, I think that's what everyone's maybe looking for. Capturing the thing that hasn't been captured.
Right.
So I try to just fly by the seat of my pants with that sort of thing.
So what else have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've been touring a lot.
Yeah. Well, I love your album, by the way. Youth is
Thanks.
Wasted. It's a great album.
Thanks. You did that great interview with me last year before
Yeah.
it came out. Actually, I named the album on your show. That's not a joke.
Is that really true?
It is literally true.
That happened on this very spot.
It did, but before it was
It looked
decorated in
different.
this way. Yeah.
But the chair was right where I am.
It really did. That's so cool. Yeah, thanks for saying that. Well, I was really, it was a great experience making it, and so yeah, I've been working on a lot of music, and I'm involved in a gorgeous show called HADESTOWN, which is going to be traveling to the National Theatre in London, and
Right, so you did it up in Canada.
I did.
Where was that in Canada?
It was in Edmonton.
Edmonton. What's
I get-
Edmonton like?
It's really cool.
Was it cold? Were you there in the cold?
I was.
The
It
fall-
was,
like,
but I like cold actually.
yeah. Okay.
But it was cold, but there were a lot more like really nice restaurants. The food was incredible there, which I was surprised. It's the northernmost metropolitan area in North America.
Oh, wow.
I guess.
Okay.
So, or the largest one. So yeah, it's
Do
quite
they
a
have a
cosmopolitan
Target? Is
city.
there a Target there?
I think they might. I mean,
Just wondering.
I was living downtown. I love Target. That's what bums me out about the city here. Is there one in the city yet?
Yes.
Oh,
little,
where
the
is
little
it?
Targets that aren't as good as the suburban Targets.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because
Sorry. But did you like doing the show?
I love doing the
I haven't
show,
seen
yeah.
the show. I missed it off Broadway, but I hear it's fantastic.
Well, the other thing is, Great Comet of 1812 was one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. I loved how adventurous that was in so many ways. And so Rachel Chavkin, I'm a huge Rachel Chavkin fan,
Yes.
and an Anais Mitchell fan, who's the composer of
Comet.
HADESTOWN. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just a great team.
And you reunited with some SpiderMan friends.
Yeah, Patrick Page and TV Carpio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been really, really
So
fun.
are you hoping to do the show again, maybe?
HADESTOWN?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You want to make an announcement? No,
I don't know if there's-
No, we're not promoting that right
no,
now.
but I mean, like,
So it's going to
a
London and it's
beautiful
coming to
show.
Broadway.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully
that's
we'll have you around more.
I would love that.
Okay. We'll wait till it's colder out to get you back on Broadway.
Right.
Not in the summer. Maybe in the fall, winter.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Have
Yeah.
you been to the? There's a theater called. It's a new name. It's called the Lyric Theater. It's a new old name. It used to be called what? It's like a casino.
Well, the Foxwoods.
Foxwoods
And then
Theater. This theater has had about 8 or 9 names.
Like, why is that?
It's had a lot of names. It was
Yeah.
originally the Ford Center. So don't.
Oh, that's right.
Can't keep up. You were there. Have you been there to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
I have been able to go in and see what they've done with the place.
You saw the
which
theater.
is
It's crazy,
gorgeous. I'm telling you.
right?
You know how, as you know, normally with the Broadway production, the producers are required to pay for the reinstating.
Renovation.
Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you do
to make the
renovations, you have
show,
to
yeah.
return it to its original state. I hope that they never. If this show eventually leaves, let's say in
Right.
20 years, because who knows, this thing might be there
Yeah,
a long
who
time.
knows?
I hope that they keep that theater looking the
Well,
way it
because
does.
they really
It's
did. They
gorgeous.
built out the whole. So you were in a little show there called SpiderMan: Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah.
Some of you may have heard about it, or read about it in the
Hopefully, yeah.
newspapers, or read the book about it, or heard the album, the amazing album. There was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, there's a lot.
It looked very different in there before.
It did, and it was great. It looked beautiful
but
before, but
but
it's
they made it intimate.
like a classic European opera house is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I think.
When you
really
walk
cool.
in that theater now, do you get a little? My memory is you were
Right.
flying above me. There was all that.
Yeah.
There was you actually.
I was a
flew
lot
far.
of it. I mean,
There
I,
were like 74 Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but you were one of the ones that flew.
yeah. I did like probably 40% of the stuff people thought I was doing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right. Okay, that's good. So you might have been actually above me.
I was at times.
You were
yeah,
above.
yeah,
So
yeah.
do you get like a stomachache when you look up there? Do you get queasy? Is it like oh my, like when you look up at a roller coaster you have to ride, or
That's honestly one of the things I miss the most. I mean, I loved doing the show, but you know, there's no other show where you're going to get to fly over the audience really that I can think of,
Right.
especially in that way. So I knew the last time I did it, oh man, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to maybe get to do this again. And it was I never really got motion sickness doing that.
Right.
I just loved
you just
it.
loved it?
Yeah, a
just
little bit of
loved
back pain from that one number, the seduction, where Arachne comes down and lifts
Yeah,
me
yeah.
off the bed. That was pretty challenging, but I had much more defined abs because of that for a while.
Oh,
so
I was
need
just talking to Katrina Lenk about that scene
Oh
because
yeah,
she was an arachnid.
Yeah, It's not easy to do that one. That was hard. Katrina, man, congratulations to her. My gosh.
Yeah.
I haven't texted her yet, but I have to.
Yeah, congratulations. She knows.
Yeah, she knows.
So, hi, Caitlin. Are
Hi.
there any questions from the
We
fans?
have so many good questions.
Okay, good.
Casey wants to know, or Cassie, apologize for that, wants to know the best advice you've ever been given or would give.
Oh gosh, you know that's really good. Okay, a lot of your viewers may not know who this person is, especially depending on their age. But it's a guitar. If you've seen Beautiful, you
The
may
Kiddo King musical.
you may be
I'd
aware
say the
of
full title.
yeah.
It's like just saying SpiderMan. It's
Right.
Turn Off the Dark.
I know.
I'm
I
sorry.
should say you're right, but you may have heard of a person named Danny Korchmar. He wasn't mentioned in that musical, but he's a guitar player and a songwriter, and he gave me some incredible advice when I was 19 as a songwriter, telling me just not to worry about writing any particular style, to just write, just write whatever you're writing.
put yourself in a
think,
box.
yeah,
Just sort
right.
of
Like for instance, like I don't listen to a lot of rap music, but I've never tried to write a rap song. I probably should. And like I don't listen to a lot of country or write a lot of country, but maybe I should do that. But basically, if you're on the track and you're doing something that you've never done, keep going there and don't try to judge the song for any box that you might otherwise put it in. So that's been very good advice.
You know, it's ironic because your entire show at Green Room 42 is rapping, correct? It's your rap.
Reeve
Raps.
I don't
That's
plan,
the title.
so,
Reeve
yeah,
Raps. Reeve Raps.
And one more thing I thought of, a friend, Coco Montoya, he's a blues guitar player. He gave me advice when I was 15 that Albert Collins had given him, another incredible blues musician from the 80s and before. But he said to me, take your time, son. And that's probably the best advice ever in life in general, I think. So thank you, Coco.
Do you get stressed out about like career or like what's happening, or are you good at like just taking your time, son?
I like to take my time. Yeah. I think there are times, of course, I think we all get stressed out and, oh no, why aren't things moving a certain way? Or
Right.
But then when things move really fast, you want them to slow down. So I try to appreciate the moment. And it's a constant thing to remind yourself of. You know, it's not that I don't think anyone's probably perfect at appreciating the moment, but I think it's a good goal to have.
You're pretty chill.
I try.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of coffee, though.
That's always good. Joanne asks, she says, I loved seeing Carney play live, especially at Bowery Ballroom. What is your favorite music venue you have ever played?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Well, we were, because of our time in SpiderMan Turn Off the Dark, we were invited to open for U2 the last night of their 360 tour in Moncton,
good friend
New
to have.
Brunswick. Yes.
You two guys.
And so that was one of my favorite performances. It was for 50,000 people, and I've almost never felt more comfortable on stage. I'm not really sure why that is, but I love that. I mean, I love playing the Troubadour. I'm actually playing the Troubadour in Los Angeles on May 21st, but tomorrow night I'm playing here in New York City, which I'm saying that because I'm not trying to confuse people, but
Green Room
42.
Green Room
So if you
42.
guys are in New York, please come to the show. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I don't know. I do love the Troubadour. I love, and that Moncton show was amazing. So many nice theaters, and I like an intimate venue, though. Although that contradicts what I said about the 50,000. But I think music sounds better in an intimate venue.
Do people ask you more about Penny Dreadful or SpiderMan?
Probably nowadays, maybe more Penny Dreadful, just because
Well, it
it
lives on.
seems almost recent
keep watching it,
because it's
right?
on
Yeah.
Netflix now, and
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But people are always excited when wow, you were in Spider-Man.
Right.
And usually the question is like, are you the guy who fell or are you the understudy? I'm like, neither, but it's
Right, they all
a
just
long
know-
story.
They all know the drama.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and Chris is doing great, man. Chris has been Dirty Dancing, all kinds of things. Chris Tierney, who is the person
Yeah.
who most
He
people,
was someone- he was injured. Yeah.
yeah. I'm excited to see where his career has gone since then. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
He's very talented.
Yeah.
What else we got, Kate?
All right, George wants to know, how did you get involved with Hadestown? And I want to add to that, what role would you want to play in Great Comet?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know which role I could play. I never even thought about that because I just I loved everything about the show. I didn't really ever. I didn't even think that I didn't have that ambition.
I want to see you as the ensemble guy that like tumbled next to me.
That's a good one.
That would be cool,
That
right?
was good.
Yeah.
That was
See,
good.
there was so much. It would be hard to pick, honestly. Dancing on those
But-
tables would be scary.
But
Though.
talk about getting involved in Hadestown.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been aware of Hadestown since probably 2012, since their first reading that
Okay.
they did, and
Were you in the first reading?
I wasn't in the first
Okay.
reading, but there were a few times when I was approached by Aeneas over the years, and unfortunately the timing hadn't worked out until recently, and I'm so grateful that it did because it's it's such beautiful music, and they're making some really interesting changes as well, which it's interesting for me to be a part of a show that doesn't have to have all of its out-of-town tryouts on Broadway.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
with Spider-Man, obviously, is the way. But
So
so
who do you play?
I play Orpheus.
That I've heard of.
Yeah,
Orpheus.
I know. I'd heard of him too.
Yeah,
Now I know a little bit more about him.
That's like a famous character.
Yeah.
And what do you love about the story and the musical? Talk a little bit about why you think it's going to be an exciting show for Broadway.
For me, I think if you've ever been in love, I think it's an important show to see. And for me, musically, it's it uses more of my range than I've ever been able to use in a theatrical production. So that's exciting for me. It's almost like it was written from my voice, which I don't. Obviously, that's not the case, but it feels that way to me, which is really exciting.
Cool. That's an experience. It's not like a traditional musical. It's definitely
Yeah,
pushing boundaries a little bit.
I guess they're calling it a folk opera.
Yeah.
But
I've
to
heard
me,
that.
it's got what I love. I'm a huge fan of New Orleans, the city.
Yes.
It's actually one of my favorite cities, and but apparently where I was conceived. I don't know if I should say that on Live at 5, but
Hey, Marty.
but that's what I've been told, and maybe that's why I love the city so much. But it's got a real New Orleans feel to it too, the music, and like a blues jazz thing. Even though they're not calling it a jazz opera or a blues opera, but it has this sort of blues jazz swampy element, which I love.
No rap. But it's swampy.
There might be some rap though, because it always
okay.
recitative.
All right, I'm open
the
to
whole, it's like that kind of thing. So it has a rap-ish vibe at times. Not my character. But.
All right, we only have time for a couple more questions, but here's one of them. Lisa is curious, what is the best lesson you learned from your Spider-Man experience?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you keep your head pretty straight during that?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like ups and downs, and people were long ass preview period.
Yeah, I think I've always. I come from a family, and you mentioned my mom, and she's hugely into gratitude and making sure to always teach us that as children. But I think maybe I learned that lesson in a different way, being a part of that show. Different lessons in gratitude, being grateful for all these things, even amidst all of that chaos. Finding all the things that I really was so grateful for, and also performing for children does that for you as well. I think, not that it was only children. Probably less than half of the audience was children, but that is a good reminder when you think, especially if you're in the long run of a show, just to remember, I never wanted to give a performance that was phoned in to any degree. So if I ever had a day where I'm feeling rough, I try to think about the 10-year-old kid who's seeing this for the first time and like, oh man, and imagining what that was like for me when I saw Cats when I was 4. And it was like, such an experience.
Yep.
So yeah, just remembering that, I think it's important, and especially with the theater grind, because it's probably the hardest work that I've ever done in the entertainment business. And so my hat's off. It's on now, but it's off to everyone.
Hats off.
My hair is all messed up, but but to anyone involved in it, because it's you have to have dedication to being.
Yeah. All right, and last question. Can you give us a couple previews of what to expect tomorrow at your show in Green Room 42?
Are you singing from the album?
I will be singing.
Okay,
Yeah, singing from my album.
Download it or stream it or do whatever you got to do.
I never do Broadway songs in my set, but I will be doing a few things tomorrow.
Like surprising things?
I want to surprise people with them. But I'll have a few more traditionally theatrical pieces of music woven into my set. So I'm excited to give that a shot.
Yeah, go see it. We don't need to
Go
tell
see
you
it.
now. Go
Yeah.
see it. Be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you need? It's Reeve Carney. Hello.
I'll be dressed even more fancy. I wasn't sure how I should dress today because it was so hot.
Right.
So I'll be dressed a little bit more.
Did you have your outfit figured
uppity.
out?
I have some ideas.
Okay.
Because I had to pack my suitcase.
Right, of course.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, go see Reeve Carney. It's tomorrow. This is in the Yotel, which is on 42nd and 10th, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's go to the lobby. You'll find it. It's great. It's a great space. It's called Green Room 42. It's at 9:30. Is that right?
Yep.
9:30 tomorrow night, Thursday, May 3rd. Thank you so much for being here, Reeve.
Of course. Thank you.
I can't wait
Paul.
to see you on
Thank
stage
you.
again.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Caitlin, will you take us out?
I would love to. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the show on Facebook at Live at 5. You can listen to this interview and as well as all of them from this past week and further on back at our Live at 5 podcast on Apple, on Google Play, on all of those places. And then you can join us here right back at 5 p.m. on Facebook to chat with Kyle Selig? We'll get to that. From Mean Girls tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. See you later.